Well, well, well. Look what finally rolled into the prison library. Issue number 2. Awesome in Time Fractures. You know, prison gets a bad reputation, but every once in a while they surprise you with some quality reading material. I mean, it's no how to build giant robot dinosaurs without getting caught, but it'll do. History isn't perfect, it's precious. That's such an awesome in thing to say. Meanwhile, I'm over here thinking, history isn't perfect, let's improve it. Apparently, the judge disagreed. Now look at this cover. Dinosaurs, pirates, knights, cowboys, a futuristic train. Did somebody spill a history book into a blender? And there's little B. Look at him. That dog has absolutely no idea what's going on. He's just excited because everybody smells like snacks. And Awesome N gets the center of the cover. Again. Do villains get any appreciation around here? No. We get prison food and mandatory recreation. I gotta admit though, this artwork is incredible. If I wasn't in here, I'd probably buy 3 copies. One to read, one to collect, and one to dramatically point at while saying, I know those people. Now then, let's see what kind of historical chaos somebody else is causing this time. Because, for the record, I'm trying very hard to stay out of trouble. Planning trouble doesn't count. Alright, Awesome Men, let's turn the page and see what adventure you've wandered into now. Alright, page 1. Let's see what our favorite museum volunteer is up to. Albuquerque Dinosaur Museum. That's already suspicious. You can't put time travel and museum in the same sentence without somebody accidentally inventing a disaster. Okay, she is giving museum tours. Respectable, responsible, law-abiding. We clearly chose very different career paths. Do you think time travel could ever be real? Probably not. Rule number 1 of comic books. If somebody says probably not, it's absolutely about to happen. And there's little B, junior volunteer. Look at him greeting everybody. That dog would absolutely work for treats. No paycheck, no vacation, just one biscuit and he'd happily clock in for a 12-hour shift. Honestly, employee of the month, every month. But then, ooh, flicker. There it is, I knew it. Nothing good ever follows the word flicker. Lights flicker, dimensions rip, it's practically science. Wait, did that fossil just glow? Yeah, that's definitely against museum policy. I'm no curator, but I'm pretty sure ancient rocks aren't supposed to reboot themselves. And now something from the past just blinked into the present. Well, that escalated faster than my court date. Alright, I'm hooked. Turn the page. Let's see who broke history. Alright, page 2. Well, that's not good. Whenever the museum starts making whirr noises, I always assume everything's under control. Actually, no I don't. I immediately start looking for the exit. Okay, floating clocks, purple lightning, people running, yep, Tuesday. Plants are growing through the floor? You know you've got landscaping problems when the ferns decide they're indoors now. Whoa, a triceratops just popped into Albuquerque. I don't know about you, but I suddenly feel a lot better about being behind prison walls. That thing isn't fitting through the visiting room. Security's trying their best. Poor guy's yelling, evacuate the building! Meanwhile, history's over there saying, nah, I'm redecorating. And there she is, Dr. Clarissa Chronos. Brilliant, stylish, dangerous. Exactly the kind of scientist who hears, don't tamper with time, and replies, challenge accepted. History has become editable. Lady, have you ever tried editing a family recipe? That causes enough arguments. You're editing 65 million years. Then little B figures it out before everyone else. She's not stealing fossils, she's stealing history itself. See? Always trust the dog. Dogs don't overthink. Dogs just point at the problem and bark. Humans write committee reports. And just like that, Dr. Chronos steps through the portal, looks back. Until next time. You know, I don't like it when villains are polite. That somehow makes them even scarier. Alright, turn the page. I have a feeling this is about to get prehistoric. Ha! I love these pages. Every great comic needs a puzzle page. It gives your brain something to do while your popcorn cools off. Granted, prison popcorn isn't exactly legendary. It's mostly optimistic corn. Okay, spot the time fractures. I'm already in a time fracture. I've been serving the same Tuesday for 3 weeks. Portal maze, little bee, buddy, don't chase squirrels this time. Just follow the maze. Actually, knowing little bee, he'd choose straight through the page and call it a shortcut. Dino match, easy. I've watched enough dinosaur documentaries. Okay, I've watched enough dinosaur movies. Fine, I've watched enough cartoons. Those count. Time jumble? Let's see. Awesome N studies the clues. Time fractures appear. Dr. Chronos presses the giant glowing button that obviously says, "Please don't press." Yep, classic supervillain behavior. Decode the crystals. I'm pretty sure if I actually decoded Dr. Chronos' notes, they'd just say, "Step 1, ignore every warning label." Little B's word search. Now this is my event. Although if Little B were really helping, he'd circle treat, snack, biscuit, and somehow find bacon even if it wasn't in there. Shadow match. Come on, I know my little Ankylosaurus buddy. I'm still not over him disappearing. Poor Little B. He finally made a dinosaur friend, and history had to take him back. Volcano math? Whoever invented volcano math, I just want to talk. Normally volcanoes solve themselves, eventually. A crossword, now we're talking. Nothing says epic time travel adventure quite like filling little squares with tiny letters. Honestly, I kinda love it. And I like the last box best. Draw your own time fracture creature. See, that's what comics are about. You don't just read them, you jump into them. Okay, puzzles completed. Absolutely no cheating, mostly. Turn the page. Let's see what kind of prehistoric chaos Awesome N gets into next. Page 3. Now this is why Awesome N keeps catching me. She actually thinks before she jumps. Personally, I usually jump first, and then think about it during the ride down. Look at that transformation. Awesome N reporting for duty. Meanwhile, my superhero entrance usually sounds more like, "Wait, hold on, I think I pulled something." Now she's studying the strange energy. See, that's the difference between a hero and someone who accidentally invents a time machine in their garage. One asks questions, the other asks, "I wonder what this button does." The time fractures behave like fossil layers. That is actually really clever. Instead of seeing broken time, she sees history stacked on top of itself. Past, deeper past, ancient past, prehistoric past. If I looked at those layers, I'd probably be looking for where I misplaced my car keys. And here's the smartest thing she's done so far. I'll study first. Exactly. Nobody ever became a comic book legend by saying, "I've gathered absolutely no information, let's go." Then Little B starts sniffing. Of course he does. That's basically his superpower. Some heroes have X-ray vision, some have super strength. Little B has professional nose. He's out there going, "I don't know what history smells like, but that way." You got it, buddy. That's teamwork, brains and biscuits. Honestly, that's a pretty solid strategy. History leaves clues, even when history changes. That's a great line. Kinda makes you think. Maybe the past isn't trying to hide from us. Maybe it's leaving breadcrumbs if we're patient enough to notice them. And there they go, straight into the portal. You know, every single sensible part of me says absolutely not. But the comic reading part of me says, yes, jump into the weird glowing vortex. Turn the page. I'm pretty sure dinosaurs are waiting, and I don't think they know they're supposed to be extinct. Here we go, page 4, Jurassic Albuquerque. Now that is one tourism campaign I'd actually sign up for, although I might wait until after lunch. Never visit a T-Rex on a full stomach. Look at this place. Volcanoes, jungles, Dinosaurs? And somehow, I still bet there's road construction. Some things never change. Welcome to Albuquerque, 65 million years ago. Population? Way too many teeth. Awesome Inn is taking it all in, while I'm over here wondering, do dinosaurs have a speed limit? Because if they don't, I'm definitely getting a ticket. Aw, look at Little B. He makes friends with a baby Ankylosaurus, using a dog biscuit. See? Diplomacy. Humans have peace treaties. Little B has snacks. Honestly, his method seems more effective. Boop? That's officially the cutest panel in the entire comic. If anything happens to that little Ankylosaurus, I'm writing a strongly worded letter to history itself. Meanwhile, Dr. Clarissa Chronos isn't sightseeing. Nope, she's mining glowing crystals under a volcano, because apparently regular geology wasn't dangerous enough. These chrono crystals power history itself. You know, most people collect rocks. She found the Rewrite Reality edition. And then she says, I will rewrite Earth's timeline and make my version eternal. Lady, maybe start with organizing your desk first. If you can't keep your lab tidy, I'm not handing you the entire timeline. Still, those crystals are incredible. They're not just changing the past, they're changing every future that comes after it. That's actually kinda terrifying. Alright, Awesome Inn has dinosaurs, Dr. Chronos has timeline crystals, Little B has a new best friend. This can only end in one thing, complete prehistoric chaos. Turn the page. I knew it, an advertisement. Let's see what they're trying to sell me this time. Hold on, I've already got the Awesome Inn plush, and the Little B plush right here beside me. Guess prison commissary has gotten a lot better. Don't look at me like that. You already caught me once. You don't have to keep judging me from the bunk. And you're the only witness that never testifies. Good boy. Collect the whole time-traveling crew. You know, I'm pretty sure these aren't actually for sale. They're just part of the RavenheartBeats universe. But if they were, I'd be saving up. Plush Cool Chris. Now that's a handsome little guy. I should probably get one. At least then I'd finally have a roommate who follows the rules. Awesome Inn plush. Tiny cape, tiny goggles. Maximum hero. I bet if you squeeze her, she reminds you to investigate before jumping into glowing portals. And here's Little B, still smiling, still adorable, still somehow the smartest member of the team. Honestly, I trust his nose more than half the scientists in this comic. Dr. Clarissa Chronos even has a plush. Nope, I'm sleeping with one eye open. That thing probably rewrites history while everyone else is asleep. Aw, the baby Ankylosaurus. I'd definitely keep one of those on my shelf. Although, Little B would probably claim it as his emotional support dinosaur. Caveman Curtis gets one, Brianna gets one, Bodhi gets one, everybody gets one. Pretty soon they'll have a plush prison guard, and he'll probably arrest plush Cool Chris. Collect them all and save the timeline. I like that. No pressure, just the entire history of the universe. You know, these two little plushes beside me make this cell feel a little less lonely. Don't tell anybody I said that. I've got a reputation to maintain. Alright, back to the comic. Something tells me the dinosaurs haven't had nearly enough screen time yet. Ooh, now this is a comic book chase. We've officially reached maximum awesome. Awesome Inn is swinging through prehistoric trees, Dr. Chronos is throwing around time powers, and Little B is riding an Ankylosaurus like a tiny cowboy. Hee-haw! Buddy, I don't know who gave you a cowboy hat, but never take it off. Ever. I honestly think Little B forgot this was a mission. He's just out there living his best dinosaur life. You can't escape time, Awesome Inn. I control it. Bold words, usually spoken about 3 pages before things go terribly wrong. Whoa, look at that Parasaurolophus stampede. You know, I'd always imagined prehistoric traffic was bad, but that's a real traffic jam. Meanwhile, Little B and his Ankylosaurus are just bouncing along, completely unbothered. Honestly, I think those two should get their own spin-off comic. I'd read every issue. Uh-oh, here comes the time gauntlet. Freeze! Everything stops. Dinosaurs, rocks, even time itself. I That's actually a pretty terrifying superpower. You can't outrun someone if they can pause the race. But wait, Awesome Man notices something. The crystal flares, then dims. Recharge time. Yes, that's exactly what heroes do. They don't just look for weaknesses, they pay attention. Knowledge beats raw power again. There it is, that's the lesson. Not bigger muscles, not louder explosions, just watch carefully. Think, learn, then move. Meanwhile, Dr. Chronos is standing there going, that's the universal villain sound for, I did not account for competent heroes. Hey, little Awesome Man, you earned this one. And little B, don't let it go to your head. Although, if anybody deserves a victory biscuit, it's you. Alright, the chase is heating up. Turn the page, because I have a feeling somebody's about to do something spectacularly irresponsible. And I'm really hoping it isn't me this time. Okay, time out. This isn't even part of the story anymore. This is my advertisement. You know what? I still stand behind every single product, even from jail. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cool Chris Shopping Network. Today's incredible offer, Awesome In license plates, and Awesome In toilet paper. Because apparently, history isn't the only thing that moves fast. I cannot believe they actually printed this. I mean, look at that license plate. Awesome In. Honestly, I'd put that on my getaway car. You know, hypothetically, when I eventually have a getaway car. Then we move on to the toilet paper. Goes super fast. Well, that's one way to advertise it. The legal department must have been on vacation. So fast, it's basically time travel. Exactly. You use one square, blink, and somehow you've already used half the roll. I don't know how they engineered that. It's terrifying. Little Awesome In, don't look at me like that. I'm promoting your brand. Little B, you approved this merchandise. Your little paw print is right there. You can't pretend you weren't involved. I love that the profits supposedly go toward dog treats and keeping me sane. Excuse me, I'm doing great. I've only talked to 3 imaginary dinosaurs this week. Okay, 4. And this special lockup price? Now that is marketing. You lock up the salesman, he cuts prices. Everybody wins. Well, except me. Not responsible for lost time, temporal paradoxes, or toilet paper speed. Finally, an honest disclaimer. Alright, enough shopping. I've got 2 adorable plushies keeping me company, an issue of Awesome In my hands, and somehow, this comic is getting even crazier. Let's see what happens next. Because if history completely falls apart, I'm absolutely blaming Dr. Chronos, not the toilet paper. Okay, next page. Whoa, now that is a massive migraine for every history teacher on Earth. Dr. Clarissa Chronos has officially gone from interesting scientist to I probably shouldn't have given her batteries. The age mixer. Yeah, that's exactly what you don't want to hear when time itself is already broken. Step 1, build giant time machine. Step 2, push glowing button. Step 3, regret literally every life decision. And look at this, cowboys riding beside Triceratops. Honestly, I'd watch that movie. Knight versus Velociraptor? Take my money. A pirate ship sailing down the Rio Grande? Okay, parking would have been impossible, but still awesome. And woolly mammoths downtown. Imagine trying to explain that to your insurance company. Sir, what hit your car? Ice Age. Excuse me? Wait, there's a futuristic train flying overhead too? This page has absolutely refused to pick one century. I respect that. Meanwhile, Dr. Chronos is standing there like, I have achieved perfection. Lady, there's a pirate asking a cowboy for directions. Perfection may need another draft. Hold on, little B, don't chase the... He chased it. Of course he chased it. It's round, it squeaks, it practically introduced itself. Bonk, emergency shutdown. You know, most heroes save history with courage, or sacrifice, or impossible strategy. Little B saves history because he has absolutely no self-control around squeaky toys, and somehow it works. Little plush Little B, I'm proud of you. You're chaos, but useful chaos. Then Dr. Chronos yells, "Little B, no!" See, even villains eventually discover the universal law. Never underestimate the dog. Alert! Alert! Segination critical! Yeah, I'd say that's a bad sign. When the machine starts screaming louder than the people, it's probably having a rough day. I've got to admit, for a comic about protecting history, this thing sure enjoys destroying it first. Alright, one page left. Can Awesome N fix the timeline? Can Little B stop chasing buttons? Can Dr. Chronos go 5 whole minutes without inventing another catastrophe? Let's find out. Okay, final page. You know, for all the jokes I've made, this comic actually stuck the landing. History isn't perfect, it's precious. That's a good line. Even an alleged supervillain has to admit it. Don't get used to hearing me say nice things. Awesome N reaches the Chrono Embassy, and instead of trying to outpunch Dr. Chronos, she outthinks her. See? That's what I've been saying. Brains first, explosions second. Preferably. Thunk. Engine off. Timeline restored. Everybody goes home. The cowboys tip their hats. The knights head back to wherever knights keep their laundry. And the pirates, well, they're probably still arguing over whose map was upside down. Then, Little B's little ankylosaurus friend. Aw, come on. You didn't have to hit me in the feelings. That little nose boop. That goodbye. You okay, buddy? Yeah, me too. I'd miss my dinosaur friend too. Some friendships only last a moment, but they're still worth having. Back at the museum, everyone thinks it was just a malfunction. Classic. If I've learned anything from comic books, it's that normal people explain everything away. Giant dinosaur? Probably a projector. Time portal? Electrical issue. Flying pirate ship? Construction. Then the kid asks, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" And Awesome N answers, "The one that reminded me history is worth protecting." That's actually perfect. Not because it was the biggest, not because it was the strongest, because it mattered. Wait. Dr. Clarissa Chronos kept a crystal? Of course she did. Villains never clean up after themselves. They always keep one glowing object, every single time. If somebody says, "I secretly kept a tiny piece," run. Nothing good has ever followed that sentence. Next time, we visit the Ice Age. Oh, now we're talking. Snow, mammoths, saber-toothed cats, ice everywhere. Finally, a climate this prison doesn't have. Maybe they'll even invent air conditioning. Awesome N, you better pack a warm coat. Little B, don't lick any frozen mammoths. Dr. Chronos, please leave the crystals alone. And me? I'll be right here, waiting for issue 3. Probably still incarcerated, still reading, still making fun of everybody, and somehow still cheering for the heroes. Well, that was awesome. Now, if somebody could smuggle me issue 3, I'd really appreciate it. And maybe, just maybe, a squeaky toy for Little B. Well, that's it. You actually made it all the way to the end. Meanwhile, I'm still in here, so technically, you had the better adventure. Seriously though, thank you. Every page you turned, every dinosaur, every terrible joke, every time Little B saved the day completely by accident, you came along for the ride. Little Awesome N, you protected history. Little B, you protected squeaky toys. And somehow, both of those turned out to be equally important. I've got to admit, Awesome N did a pretty good job. Don't tell her I said that. I've got a reputation to maintain. Keep the past safe, it's our future. You know, that's actually a pretty good motto. History doesn't have to be perfect to be worth protecting. Kinda like people. And to every one of you, thank you for reading. Thank you for laughing. Thank you for supporting RavenheartBeats comics. You really are the reason these stories get to exist. Now, you've already made it this far. You've read the comic, you survived my commentary, you even sat through the toilet paper advertisement. At this point, you might as well stick around for the brand new Awesome End song. Trust me, it's got a better rhythm than Dr. Chronos has judgment. So don't go anywhere. Turn the volume up, grab a dog biscuit if you've got one, and let's finish this adventure, the RavenheartBeats way. I'm Cool Chris, still incarcerated, still awesome, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Assuming they don't add another week to my sentence for making fun of prison food. Actually, that was probably a bad idea. Hit the music!
Every clock can spin, every mountain can shake. Every trail through time leaves a choice we can make. Dinosaurs roaring, tomorrow in sight. Awesome End keeps the timeline bright. Little B says, let's go! Following footprints only heroes know. History isn't perfect, history's worth the fight. Protect the past, shine your light. From ancient worlds to skies unknown, every age deserves its home. Awesome End, stand up, hold on, keep time moving on. Cowboys, pirates, castles, trains, through every century she remains. Knowledge beats raw power every time. A brave heart guards the line. One small clue, one brave choice, one loyal friend, one fearless boy's voice. History isn't perfect, it's precious every day. Side by side, we'll find a way. With little B leading every trail, heroes never truly fail. Awesome End, time rolls on, adventures only just begun. Dum, 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 dum.
Straight from the mind to your speakers. RavenheartBeats Studio!
That'll do, Groove.